Well, welcome to Jamie TV. No massive intro for this stream because we are already 10 days into September and I'm just beginning my Songtember challenge and I haven't done a thing yet. So, as I haven't created any music yet, I haven't got any music to use as an introduction. So, where am I at? I shall fill you in. Basically, the reason I'm so late starting Songtember is because the first week of September is a very, very busy week for me because the kids are still off school for that first week. So while the missus is working, I've got the kids. We've also got 2 birthdays during that week, my middle kid and my missus. So there's lots of birthday stuff going on. And so it's just a busy time, and also I was in Japan for a week doing some gigs. Then I was back for a week to catch up on lessons and doing some more gigs, and then we were on holiday for a week. So it's been a bit of a busy time. Hey Matthias, thank you for joining me. So what have I got done so far? And what have you got done so far, Matthias? Fill me in the chat. Because what I should mention is that for my patrons, right, and Matthias is a member at my Patreon account, I'm happy to help with your Songtember stuff. So if you're a patron and you like, just hey Semtex, thanks for joining me, man. If you are stuck with your song, if you need some bass playing or some guitar playing on your track, if you're a member at my Patreon account, then I'm happy to help. So you too, just catch me up on where you're at with your Songtember stuff, if you are in fact taking part, while I fill you in on where I'm up to, okay? So, whilst I was in Japan, I was thinking about Songtember coming up, and I was thinking, I'm going to be really late starting, but that's okay because I can just do another cyber metal track, because I've done quite a few of them now, and I could do with a couple more so that I've got an album's worth, right? Because that'd be nice. And I know what I'm doing with that stuff, I'm comfortable with that, so I should be able to get that done in the time that I've got. But then I just kept thinking, it's called Songtember, and maybe I should do a song. Maybe I should do something including some vocals. And I was, whilst I was away, I was thinking, what would that be like? What would it be like if I did like cyber metal, but with some vocals, right? So I was thinking, well, if I'm making that kind of music, then I need lyrics that are along that kind of cyberpunk theme. So I made a few notes, on my iPhone, and then when we were on holiday, when I had a bit of time, I kept sort of working through these notes I made and started assembling that into some lyrics, right? So if I just, let's just share my iPad screen. And if I do this, I can show you, right? So I've got some lyrics. And the idea of the lyrics is that, right, so I'm trying to create this setting of this cyberpunk world. I suppose in mind, what I've got in mind is if there was going to be a full album of songs, then we need a song that sets the scene, right? So it's got to be a song that gives you that puts a visual in your mind about, a mega city under a dome on a planet that's been destroyed by war, and all of those things that are typical of cyberpunk stories. So I've got that in my lyrics, and what I was going to do was I was going to start off my Songtember by showing you how I worked out how the melody was going to go, and how I fashioned the chords around that, and how I came up with the chords that I've got scribbled down, and so how I arrived at the song sketch. But you know what? I've not got tons of time, so I'm just going to get straight in to the making of the music, and you'll just have to sort of hear it evolve, and you'll hear the melody, the lyrics, when I get to that bit, right? So I'm just going to get stuck into it. So what are we saying in the chat? You have lyrics already. Okay, right. And are you going to sing, Mateus? I'm delayed because of the car. She told me to buy a multi-effect instead of Nambrini. It arrives tomorrow. What? Who is the cow? Oh, I see. Hey, Maz. Thanks for being here. No way I will sing. Jamie said he will help all patrons. I'll ask him. All right. Okay. Well, you know what I'm like about my singing? I do sing. And if there's one thing that's kept me in work as a musician for a living, it's the fact that I sing. But I don't really consider myself to be a singer. I'm a musician who sings. So, but I am happy to help. If my voice would work for you, then I'm happy to do it. So, okay. So let's go back to Cubasis. Now, I've kind of had a little bit of I've been wondering about this for a little while because, I do a Cubasis workshop every week. They've been missing for the last 2 or 3 weeks because as I've already explained, I've been so busy. But obviously, Songtember's going to take over for a little while, and there'll be no Cubasis workshops. And so I thought, well, least I can do is I will use Cubasis for my Songtember project. But that means, unfortunately, that the track will not be able to have any tempo changes. So I've kind of had my doubts, like, should I use Logic Pro for iPad so that if I need a tempo change, I'm not gonna get stuck. So here's what I've arrived at. I was already sure in my head that I was going to work on a lot of the MIDI parts instead. I was going to work on the drums and the synths before I start adding any guitars or anything like that. Mainly because it's really, really important to make sure that you've got your track in the right key for your voice, the best possible key for your voice, before you start adding real audio instruments. Because once you do that, if you realize that you're in the wrong key and that you could do with it, being a semitone lower or a semitone higher, then, you've got to re-record all those guitars. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to get my track together as far as like the MIDI parts. And if I feel that I need a tempo change in the song, then I'm going to have to shift that MIDI over to Logic Pro for iPad, which is not a massive big deal. But again, if I got beyond the point of working on more than, just MIDI, it would be very difficult to export and reassemble, and you know what I mean. So, hi Falcro, thanks for being here. Right, so as I said, I have the melody, I have the lyrics, I have a chord pattern over here in the Darth Vader book. So let me just consult that Darth Vader book and just check out what my chords are for my first section. The chords that I'm going to use for my verse, I'm also going to use for an introduction, I reckon that's what I'm doing. So what I want is this track needs to have a lot of levels. It needs to have a lot of dynamics to it. And I want the introduction to be very cyberpunk. I want it to be, like the kind of background music that you get in a movie like Blade Runner. I want it to be that kind of sound. So I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to start with Baby Audio's BA1, because there's a lot of sounds in that synth that are appropriate. So I'm going to just get a sound. I'm going to put down the chords that I think I'm going to use for the intro, and then we'll build some sounds around that. And let's get just that kind of vibe going on before we do anything else. So we'll open up BA1. Now I remembered to set the Bluetooth mouse up. So here we go. We'll add a MIDI track, and it's going to be a synth, so it has to be green. And we'll go and grab BA1. Now, at this point, what I'd like to do is I'd like to ask you, people of the chat, right, I'd like you to put in the chat any synth apps, any iOS synth apps that you think have got great cyberpunk or synthwave sounds in them. And because that's the kind of sounds I'm going to need for this track. So, I mean, I know of a few already, but maybe you can throw some in the chat and it'll give me some ideas, some I'd not thought of, maybe some I hadn't got that I can, go to the App Store and buy. So, BA1, here we go. Right, now the first thing I'm going to do is go to the mixer and pull down the volume on it. And then I'll arm the track. There we go. Just to make sure I'm not going to be blasting anyone's eardrums out. Synthmaster 1. Now, does that have basic presets that are like cyberpunk synthwavy, or is there a pack that you need to get in Synthmaster 1 with those sounds in? Because I have Synthmaster 1, I like Synthmaster 1, but I don't think I've ever bought any packs in it. So, more details, Matthias. Right, I think that can go up a little bit. Let's just do that. Okay, right. So, that sound is okay. What is that sound? Just out of interest. I'm not particularly bothered about the specific sound yet. I'm going to get a few chords in, then we'll start thinking about specific sounds. King of Digital, yes, nice one. Absolutely correct. Why didn't I think of that one? Okay, so I'll put that on my list. Yes, okay. Analog Brass Baby. Okay. So I need some chords. Now, my chords for the introduction are going to be a D major 7. Oh, it needs to be an octave higher than that, surely. Right, yeah, that's quite nice. Right, a D major 7 to a C sharp minor 7, which is that one. I know my music theory very, very well, but as a keyboard player, I am something of a noob. In fact, actually, let's just go to this so you can see my fingers being all newbie on my keyboard. Then we've got what? An F sharp minor 7, yes. And then we've got an E major, which I also want to make into a 4-note, a clever chord. So I don't think a 7, maybe a 6. That might be quite nice. Don't know what that magic note was there. Okay, so let's not kid ourselves that I can play those chords in beautifully, right? So I'm just going to play the triad versions of the chords, and then I'm going to go in and add the fourth note, if you like, afterwards. I'm going to need a metronome. Now, I've set my BPM to 130. Now, obviously, I'm going to be working on all the MIDI stuff first job, so it doesn't matter if I'm kind of way out with that. But I set it to 130 because what I want is, and also bearing in mind that I can't do a tempo change if I stay in Cubasis 3, is I want the intro and the verses to seem slow, but I want from the pre-chorus and into the chorus to seem, nice and kicking. So I kind of, I'm thinking if I play sort of like a half-time kind of feel at 130, But that could work, right? Maybe it won't work. We'll find out. Matthias says, I always use the online library. I think it's from Synthmaster Community for free, as dozens of patches for... okay, all right. I shall look at that, sir. So when I'm looking for Synthwave/Cyberpunk patches, will they be listed under that? Will they have clues in the titles? You know, that sort of... Like in BA1, I noticed there's one that's got a Blade Runner in the name. So, you know, obviously I'm going to be trying that one. Right, so I need to... I'll come back here, press record, and let's see if I can get some of these chords in. Oh, hang on, wait. Let's take a loop off. Right, that's better. I already made a screw up. Let's just get rid of that and try again. Okay, that wasn't too terrible. Take metronome off, and we'll go into the MIDI, and then I will select everything with a double click. Now, if I go to my quantize setup, you can see from this it's set so that when I quantize, it will snap the length of the note to the bar, as well as making each note a full bar in length. I think I could have explained that better, but if I just press quantize, you'll see exactly what I mean. Right, and everything is selected, so I'll come down here, grab all the notes, pull them up to the top, and drag them all down, make them like all 100 in value, so every note is of equal value. Right, and then I can trim this MIDI like this. Now I'll go in and I'll add those extra clever notes. So I'll go to draw, and the D is a D major 7, so that means it's the 7th note of the scale, which is not a B. It's a C sharp. What a noob. Right, okay. And then C sharp minor, that's a flat 7 note, so that's going to be a B. And then, I've got draw on. Right, just move this a bit. Right, so now an F sharp minor 7, so the flat 7 note is going to be an E. And then we wanted a 6th, so hang on, E6. So that's going to be a C sharp. Ah, yes, there we are. Okay, now let's just make all these notes the right length. There we go. And this one. Okay, and let's play that, see what that's like. Right, Matthias says, I also got a nice new Cyberpunk patch from Jade's Patreon for Playbeat 3. I've not got that, but maybe it's worth me getting it. It's mainly drum patches. I was thinking of using my RX11, but you know, I'm open to ideas and sounds. And the sounds are 100% Cyberpunk. Okay, maybe I should check that out then. Hit the thumb for the dude. Thank you, Semtex. I always forget to say these things, you know. I should say things like that. Yeah, if you haven't done already, please do give the video a like. And if you haven't done already for some reason, hit sub for me. And if you press the bell, then you get alerts when I upload a video or when I stream or whatever. And if you'd like to help the channel any further than that, all the details are below the video. I won't bore you. I will try to remember to run an ad though in the middle of this video. Oh yes, and also I have set up so that after my stream, you'll get the option of being dumped over to Leela's stream. Hey Mark, welcome to the stream. I'm running somewhat behind with Songtember and doing my best to catch up. It's not looking good for me so far. Right, you can hear a bass line in your head, Maz. Yeah, I've got an idea for a bass thing. I've got an idea for how the bass line will go when this becomes a verse. For the introduction, I kind of want like a really low, very simple bass note. Like just a little bit of movement in it. Almost like a lush arrangement of synth sounds with melody being a very low note with just movement in the bass. That's kind of the idea in my head at the moment. It'll probably turn out that we'll do something completely other. But anyway, right? So now, I wonder whether I could end this sequence of chords with something less pleasant because after I've used this sequence of chords for an introduction, then we're going to drop in to the first verse, which is going to use the same chord pattern. The sounds will be quite different to make a dynamic change, but maybe for the last chord of this introduction, I could drop onto something else. What would be in this key? What would be the diminished chord? Would be this, I think. A G sharp diminished. Yeah. What if we put a 7 to that as well? Well, I like the sound of that. I don't know if it'll work, but... Right, okay, so here's what we'll do. I want this sequence of chords to last for at least 16 bars. This is not going to be a radio-friendly single. This is going to be an epic number, so... It's it's not going to be short, is what I'm trying to say, I suppose. Right, so I'll just double that out there. Then if I go in here, and we'll make this last chord last only 1 bar, and then we will put in this G sharp diminished 7. So we want a G sharp. And we want a B and a D. And the 7 would be an F sharp. Does that work? Let's play it. Not 100% convinced, but maybe with what I arrange around it, maybe it will work. I don't know. All right, so I'm not going to stress too much about that right now because, we can always change it later. Who cares? And now then, this sound. Let's have a think. I've got this idea of a choir sound, a high frequency choir sound in the background while this introduction is happening. So let's take this MIDI, and in fact, no, the easiest way to do this, I'm going to duplicate this track, And then I'm going to get cinematics. There we are. Okay. Now I'm going to solo just this track. Let's just paste these two bits of MIDI together, and we'll go in here. Okay, select everything. When I've pressed select, try that again. Okay, and we'll transpose this up an octave. Start there. That sounds pretty nice already. Now, maybe we should just go into cinematics and just go to the presets. And now, hang on a minute. Isn't there a way in cinematics to search with, like, to put a word in? I thought maybe it's in standalone. I'm not sure. Maybe I dreamt it. It'd be nice to just be able to choose between the various choir presets. Empire of Choir. Oh, yeah. Ooh, that's quite nice. Yeah. Oh, you know what? I'd completely forgotten about Mr. Hack's marvellous app. Yes, I've forgotten about that one as well, and I'm a big fan of Agonizer. Yeah. Yeah, okay, I should check that out. What are we up to, Frank? Okay, yes, Agonizer. All right, now I'm going to go like this. I'm going to go in here, and I want to bring these notes a bit closer together. And what I want to do is I want to make it so that wherever there's a note that can sustain into the next chord, it does do. So we'll get rid of that note there. Hang on, did I have something else selected? Be on the safe side. Okay. Right. These notes here as well. Now here we've got a note that sustains right the way through all of those chords there. Magic. Now, what if I bring some of these lower notes up higher? What would that look like? Move them up an octave. Right, see? Now we can sustain more notes through multiple chords. So get rid of that one and that one. There we go. Yeah, magic. And then here. Right, now here we've got a note that sustains right the way through all the chords. That's going to go a long way to achieving the kind of sound that I'm looking for. Right, now what note is that? That's an F sharp. Maybe if we brought the F sharp down an octave. Now you see what I'm doing here is I'm keeping the choir all in the same frequency. Because I just feel like that will contribute to this sort of lush kind of sound that I'm wanting from it. Hey Leela. Leela, I have the dump prepared. Let's bring the volume up a little on that. Okay, now, what would that be like if this whole thing was an octave higher? Too high. Okay. I'll just press undo on that. Okay. Now, hang on a minute. Where's my lowest note on this? Let's take all the F sharps up an octave. There. That's the sound I'm looking for. That's it. Well, Leela, it only took me about, 60 years to figure out how it's done, and I've worked it out. So, what can I say? All right. I like this choir thing. Now, let's see if we can find a sound that matches nicely. I guess what I'm looking for is I'm looking for a synth sound that is going to be the body of this section, but I'm going to dress it up with other sounds. So I'm not looking for too much from this sound, just to make it sound cyberpunk or synthwave. There. There. That's the exact kind of thing. Hey, Daniel. Nice to see you, dude. Nice to see you in the stream. And Dr. Rabbitfoot. Pure acid. You know what? I use pure acid loads in my cyber metal tracks, and I'll tell you why. Because I've actually got one of those Donna B1, which is, it's like their take on the acid bass thing, and it sounds great. It's brilliant, and it's nice to have like a hardware device that does that sound. And when I got it, I thought I'll use that in lots of my cyber metal stuff. It would be perfect. Because, I don't use it as a bass. I use it more as a kind of a lead sort of a sound. But I really dig that sound. Unfortunately, what I discovered with that device, and having done some research, other similar bits of hardware, is they don't go up, because they're designed as a bass bit of kit, they don't go up that many octaves. And I like to play those sounds on the higher octaves. So I usually end up coming back to Pure Acid. And actually, I think it has the best sound out of any of those types of apps or the equivalent hardware. It's just magic. Right, so anyway, a little bit sidetracked there. Right, cinematics, I'm liking that. That must be a different colour green because it's a different synth. So there we go. Right, now I like that sound on BA1. That's exactly the kind of sound I'm looking for. Let's just do something. I started to like gain stage as a work. Now I never ever really try to do any mixing as such whilst I'm creating. I leave all the mixing well later, but I've found if you do the gain staging as you go, that helps a lot. So if I go to the mixer, right, and I just bring these two faders to 0, and then I'll just mute cinematics, go into BA1, right, pull the volume down, and then we'll bring it up. It's magic, isn't it? Great. Okay, now cinematics. I think that diminished chord is going to work. I think that is going to work. I'm starting to really like that. Okay, now we want a droney, leady kind of a sound. I'm going to just duplicate BA1 here and delete the MIDI. And what else am I going to do? I'm going to change the color of it because multiple green synths, multiple greens. Going here. I wish there were more greens. I wish there was more. I wish there was a color picker. Is what I wish. I've only asked for it like a million billion times. They'll do it sooner or later. Fingers crossed. Right, okay, so let's go. Where was that sound I saw? Right, Lo-Fi Blade Runner. That does sound like the right kind of sound. Let's just piss pants around with that. So what am I thinking? I'm thinking a bit of a... let's go down an octave. How low can we go? That's pretty low. Would that stand out? It would. Okay. Let's work with that. Now, I'm just looking for something, what's going to get me to C sharp. Or should it go lower? I'm going to drop down another octave. You know that works. Something like that. Then leave some space. And then, what's the next? F sharp to an E. Something like that. Let's have a play. Completely missed that. I'm going to need a metronome. Something like that. Now would it maybe sound better if it was in an octave higher? We'll piss pants around with that. We'll find out. Right. Okay. So what's Leela saying? I thought my September song was a muddled morass of disjointed parts, but I worked on it last night and it's actually shaping up. Magic. That's hi, Third Person Productions. Thank you for being here. It's I find sometimes when you're working on something and it's all going well, and then you get to a point where you're like, nothing quite works. I'm not sure this is going, where it's supposed to go. That's the point where a lot of people trash their ideas and just start working on a new project. And the whole idea of Songtember is to try to complete something in a month, and that gives you the encouragement, I think, to stick at it and try and make it work. And I find the secret is just to not worry about it. Just don't stress about it, because if you start to get like all intense about it, you'll never see the things that will make it work. Just relax, I mean, I think really, for me, the key to being able to put music together and make it work is understanding your chords and your scales. If you understand your chords and how they work with the scales, if you know that bit of music theory, then, you're going to be able to make stuff work. It's usually just about finding that right chord movement to get to the next bit. And it's in there somewhere. There's only 12 notes. You just keep on pissy panting around until you find it. And if you're on my Patreon account and you are struggling and you need some help, just let me know and I will help you. Right, okay, so where was it? What was I doing before I started? Right, so we were considering going an octave higher. Hang on a minute. I've just realised something. I've got all three. Why didn't nobody tell me? I've got all three instruments activated here. So I'm getting, every time I play this, I'm getting three sounds. And I've still got the wrong one activated now. Okay, right. Blade Runner sound. And that's probably the frequency that's going to work. We shall see. Or maybe Come lower for this one. Ah, yeah. All right, okay. I think that works. Okay, you go walk the dog, Semtex. Ask the dog if it's got any great ideas for apps that have got excellent cyberpunk and synthwave sounds in it. Right, I'm going to put that down. I like that. Just had a thought, though. Yeah, I want to try and bring that note in a bit sooner. Let's see where it falls. Where it falls best. I'm on the wrong octave. Your dog's called Lemmy. He only does rock and punk. Well, it's cyberpunk, dude. Come on, give me a break. Tell the dog not to be so elitist. Right, now let's just even out the volumes on these notes because that will help. And then, now, if I go to here, bars, and maybe snap it to 8th notes, I think quarter notes will do us. Yeah, quarter notes will do us. Yes, I think that timing was better than what I was doing previously. Oh, wait, maybe can I quantize this? Maybe, no, that wasn't what I wanted, was it? Quantize settings to quarter notes and note ends. And I think that is correct. Do I want them to sustain all the way though? Maybe it'd be better if that sound didn't sustain all the way but had a longer release on it. Can I get a longer release on this sound? Let's have a look. Now, where's release on this sound? It is there. So, release. That would be better. Right, so in that case then, where does it cut off? Does it cut off like maybe there? Oops. Let's try this. I don't know. Maybe that's cutting off a note too early. That's better. Yes, an ARP would be nice, wouldn't it? Yes, it's kind of on my mind. I do like ARPs, and they are very, very synthwave / cyberpunk. So yes, I think that's the next sound. Now then, so after this, right? Now, does this come in just for the second part, or does this repeat and get more involved in the second half? If that's not there, I think it works right from the start, to be honest. Right, so okay, so maybe it does something slightly different in the second bit. Yeah, okay. Oh yes, because then that G sharp comes in, so we would get yeah, okay. I think that's going to work. So I'm going to duplicate this. We'll keep the first part the same. Then we'll go an octave higher with this part. And then keep the F sharp. Move this up to an A. That'll still be an E, but then we need a G sharp there. There. Okay. Right. Okay, let's have a listen. Okay. I wonder if that G sharp. Wait a minute. That's not a G sharp, that's an F sharp. What are you doing? Why did that not sound terrible? Hang on, what was that chord? It's a G sharp, right? I did put a G sharp in here, didn't I? G sharp diminished. Yes, I did. I'm not going mad. Could that be a super low note? Yes, it could. That's awesome. Okay, I like that. Right, an arpeggio. Right, maybe something sort of like 80s plucky or something. Maybe that comes in for just the second part. We'll see. All right, so if I just press and hold on here, we'll loop around the second part. I'll duplicate BA1 again, because I just think there's more sounds to go at in here. Choose that green there. See, I'm running out of greens now. Need more greens. Erase this and this. Right, now let's find... Well, actually, maybe I didn't want to do that. Maybe I could have kept... I'll keep that one. Yes, that makes sense. Solo this. Now we need some kind of plucky sound. So, I wonder, what about Casio tone? Use that for now. Right, let's get it arpeggiating. Now there's not an ARP in this app. He said, just looking at it to make sure. Pretty sure. No, there's no ARP. Right, so we will go to a MIDI slot and we'll grab, I think we'll go with Rosetta ARP. Right, let's have a little play around with sounds. See what we can find. Well, it's just balance these sounds out a bit so we can just hear everything that's happening. We'll not do it with the mixer, we'll do it with the in-app volumes. Okay, alright, now I'm kind of happy with the mixer sounds. I'm not 100% on the arpeggio. I'm just not quite. I think it's the sound. So let me just. Have a little tweak around with that sound. I think it might be that noise. Now let's just see. I need to get a bit closer. The writing's a bit small in this app. Okay, let's see now. Okay. Yeah, okay, it's on that oscillator. What if we change this oscillator? Oh. Now let's just have a listen to the delay in that sound again. Right, so... That's better. Yeah, okay, I like that. And then I'm going to drop the volume of that slightly. Now that it cuts through much better, I can do that. Alright, so let's see now. I've got a few minutes left, so I think what I'm going to do, there was a sound I had in mind that I've not heard yet from BA1. Maybe I want that on just one more track. We'll see. Let's just we'll duplicate this track, delete this MIDI. With this button here, use the right button, you stupid hippie. And now, oh yeah, I don't want that on it. Get rid of that. Okay. Now, just this track on. Good. Right, now. There was a sound, I'm sure, last time I played with BA1. See the Stranger Things sound in here. That could be a contender for the first MIDI part that I put down. Right, yes, okay. No. Very nice. Very nice. Oh, that's it. Okay, that's the kind of sound, one, you know, that I think would suit this bit, but where could I use it now? Would it work for the bass now? Right like that. No. It just doesn't have the same body to it as the other one. Good to experiment though. So. And it sounds it's that sound works its best when played as a chord, undoubtedly. Right, okay, so is there room for any more chords? I don't know. Maybe if the introduction lasted that little bit longer, maybe I had another 8 bars. Maybe there's room for another little simple lead using this sound. I don't know, but it does sound at its best when it's used for chords. Or maybe instead of this sound, we use this sound. Let's just try it. Select that and that, and copy that, and come down here, paste that there, and mute that sound there. Alright, I don't know. I have no idea. I'm at that point now where I maybe just need to leave it and then and have a listen in the morning with sensible ears and make some decisions from there. So let me know what you think to the sounds I'm using today, and let me know what you think to how it's going. If you think of any more apps that have great cyberpunk / synthwave sounds in them, then shoot me a message or drop me a comment or whatever, and just let me know as soon as you think of it, because otherwise you'll forget, right? So send me a message straight away. And don't forget that if you are a member of my Patreon account, or if you become one and you are doing Songtember and you're struggling and you need any help, just some advice, just a bit of guidance, some help with how an app works, or something to do with music theory, or if you want me to play on something, just shout up, just let me know. All right, get in touch, because that is really what my Patreon account is for. It's about having a nice close-knit group of friends who can all help each other out with our music making, which is also what Songtember is all about. And it gives you access to me and my knowledge, such as it is, and my abilities such as they are, and I am happy to contribute to your productions wherever it helps. Try not to twat the camera, you stupid hippie. Right, okay, so I'm going to sign off for now. I think I've got to a point where, I need to take a break, and it's almost time for Leela's stream, so go check Leela out. I guess I'll play you out with what I have So what I'll do is I'll play it out with the one sound, and then I'll let it loop round, and I'll let it play again with the other sound, and just let me know what you guys think. All right, so I'll schedule another stream as soon as I can, and just carry on with my Songtember project. All right, so everyone take care of yourselves, be good people, be kind and be good, make lots of music, get on with your Songtember songs, and try not to piss pants about. I will see you later.